This is Ecotricity's EcoTEC Roundup show from Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to electric vehicles in Aotearoa. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean energy and green cars. Thanks for joining me. We have a lot to get on with today, but first, a bit of news from Polestar, which has just revealed its first official all-electric SUV, the Polestar 3. While it's the first Polestar model to be built on a ground-up chassis, that's not one it shares with a Volvo-badged car, it still appears to share a lot of Volvo's parts bin, with seat belts, interior switches and trim components giving off plenty of Swedish vibes. Given the Polestar 3 is being marketed as an upmarket vehicle, the launch variant with long-range battery and dual-motor drivetrain has a pretty steep starting price of $83,900 before incentives or mandatory fees, but for that you get nearly 500 horses, or just over if you go for the performance pack, and an estimated range of 300 miles, 482 kilometers per charge of its 111 kilowatt-hour, 400-volt battery pack. Advanced driver assistance systems designed to help reduce accidents and keep us safe on the road are starting to become more and more common on more affordable cars. This week, the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety published a rather interesting report on the habits, attitudes, and expectations of regular users of these systems. It monitored and questioned drivers about their use of three systems: Tesla Autopilot, Nissan ProPilot, and GM SuperCruise, concluding that drivers who used SuperCruise, who skewed older than drivers of cars with the other two systems, were more likely to engage in activities that were considered quote-unquote distracted driving. That said, I should note that Tesla drivers are most likely to engage in watching videos on their phones, sleeping or reading. The headlines on this aren't doing justice, so let us know if you want us to do a deep dive. I think it'll be worth it. 2 years ago, Sony surprised us all by revealing an all-electric concept car at CES 2020. Since then, it's gone from a tech demonstrator to a full-blown pre-production vehicle. If you've been following the progress of the Sony Vision S01 and subsequent Sony Vision S02 concepts, you'll know Sony now wants to produce both with help from Honda, and this week, the two companies, who have created a new vehicle company called Sony Honda Mobility Inc., confirmed that the first electric vehicles to be made by them will be launched in the US and Japan in 2025, with the first deliveries due to take place in early 2026. Sony Honda Mobility also says its vehicles will be made at a factory in the US for the North American market, presumably because that will help customers qualify for the full US federal tax rebate for EVs. That said, expect the first model to be quite pricey. Volkswagen has initiated a recall in Europe of European market ID3 and ID4 electric cars after a potential battery manufacturing defect that it says could cause increased self-discharge. Some 10,000 ID models are affected, but the issue doesn't affect any US-made Volkswagen ID4 models because they don't use the same battery supplier. The issue was first discovered by European rental company Nextmove, which noticed a higher self-discharge rate in affected vehicles. The fault is caused by a manufacturing defect identified at the production facility where cells are made, which is operated by, you've guessed it, LG Energy Solutions. Faults with LG Energy Solutions made cells keep cropping up across the industry, and you've got to wonder how long it's going to be before the company gets raked over the metaphorical coals for its poor QC. When it comes to EV design, most people understand that the more aerodynamic the vehicle, the more efficient it can be with the energy stored in its battery pack. But it's not just its ability to cut through the air that helps with energy efficiency. Low rolling resistance tyres, overall weight, super low friction bearings, and even motor design can play a huge part too. And the more efficient each of those things can be, the further the car can coast before stopping. This week, European startup Lightyear, which was founded by a alumni of Solar Team Eindhoven showed just how efficient the upcoming Lightyear Zero solar electric car is by seeing how far it could travel without applying any regenerative braking on accelerator liftoff, while travelling at 100 kilometers per hour, that is, which is about 62 miles per hour. The distance travelled? 3.6 kilometers to standstill, or 2.2 miles. No downhill straights needed. From one impressive feat to another now, with the news that Israeli battery firm StoreDot has just confirmed it successfully completed a new round of ultra-fast charging tests. The company has already demonstrated its ultra-fast charging cells in a laboratory situation, using single cells to demonstrate an incredibly quick recharge to 80% from 10% in less than 10 minutes. Now it's progressed to placing production-ready 30 amp-hour pouch cells that it's already shipped to automakers for validation in its latest round of testing. And this has seen StoreDot test those cells in battery pack configurations over 1,000 extremely fast charging cycles. Its test results show how the first 600 ultra-fast charging cycles resulted in no meaningful cell degradation. After just 1,000 ultra-fast cycles, though, battery capacity had dropped to about 80% of its original value. Tesla's in-vehicle software was put under the microscope this week after a tweet made back in September seemed to suggest Tesla was gaining crash test ratings. The original tweet, made back in September by well-known and white-hat security expert and Tesla software reverse engineering guru Green the Only, stated that Tesla's code base listed the names of Australian, Asian and European testing grounds in it, causing some people to allege Tesla's vehicles were being coded to behave differently when at a testing facility. It caused EuroNCAP to launch an investigation, and the agency asked Tesla directly if it was geofencing its vehicles to behave differently under testing, something Tesla denied. While EuroNCAP's investigation is ongoing at this time, it has stated that it believes there's no evidence yet that Tesla's software is interfering with official tests. So we'll keep you updated on this story. General Motors has officially launched a new subsidiary called GM Energy. It's a company dedicated to offering energy solutions for both private and commercial EV customers. Announced at the start of the week, GM Energy will combine Ultium Home, Ultium Commercial and Ultium Charge 360 and, much like other charging solutions offered by rival companies, will skin public charging station access, home charging stations and fleet charging under a GM-specific branding. In addition to trying to make it easier for customers to charge their vehicles and manage their energy use, GM Energy has partnered with SunPower to offer a very similar service to Silverado EV owners to the one offered by Sunrun and Ford's F-150 Lightning, full home power backup, as well as solar panels and static energy storage solutions. In our video covering this news during the week, we misidentified SunPower and said Sunrun in reference to GM Energy, and I am sorry for that error. EuroNCAP has released its latest round of test results for European market vehicles this week, and among them, 2 5-star ratings for 2 brand new EVs to come to the market. First up, the Mercedes-Benz EQE, which scored a full 5-star rating and managed to achieve 95%, 91%, 83% and 81% for adult occupant, child occupant, vulnerable road users and safety assist respectively. Also rated was BYD's first European market electric car, the BYD Atto 3, scoring 91%, 89%, 69% and 74% respectively on adult occupant, child occupant, vulnerable road user and safety assist. The compact crossover has managed to prove, yet again, that Chinese-made electric vehicles have what it takes to go head-to-head with far more expensive models from established Western market brands. When making the transition from internal combustion to electric, there are plenty of different areas for automakers to focus on, ranging from cost and practicality through to tech and performance. Ford, already well along in its own journey from fossil fuel to electric, has so far chosen to focus on tech, practicality and performance, eschewing cost, for the most part, in preference to getting customers excited about the instant torque that EVs can offer. And that roadmap was reiterated this week when Cars Guide in Australia published an interview with Ford's VP of Electric Vehicle Programs, Darren Palmer, who reiterated that Ford's focus isn't efficiency or environmentalism, but instead making cars that are just so great people will want to drive them, regardless of the fuel type. Palmer added that because the US is less interested in sustainability as a whole, making cars that are irresistible is Ford's end goal, and frankly, I think it's working so far. Before we get to our last two stories, a quick question. Are you in the market for a new EV? If you are, and you live in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecotricity.co.nz. It is packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes plenty of details about incentives you can get, charging providers you can use, and of course, how to get green power at home. So follow the link below and start your journey today. The race to see which company will bring an all-electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft to market is intense, with established brands and startups alike vying to be first. Celebrated the first global public flight of its self-proclaimed electric flying car, the XPeng X2. Taking to the skies at a special event in Skydive in Dubai, the aircraft required a special flying permit in order to take to the skies, much as other eVTOL craft have in the past. But nevertheless, the flight was a success. XPeng hopes the X2 will offer two-seat flying experiences in the world's megacities, with sightseeing tourists and medical transports to possible applications. Unlike the rendering they originally shared, one of the concepts had fully functioning wheels, this particular variant ditched wheels for more traditional aircraft skids. And finally, the internet is a weird place, and as content creator on a platform like YouTube, there is an incredible amount of pressure to make content that's different, engaging, and fun. Believe me. And that's led many creators down the path of making content that is questionable, either because it's dangerous or infantile, or because its lowest common denominator is designed to get eyeballs at all costs. And while we do our best at this channel to not embrace the clickbait, some channels do, adding drama or doing questionable things just for the clicks. And this week, a new video surfaced that we think is just that, courtesy of Warped Perception's YouTube channel. It's done some unusual things to Teslas over the years, but this week, channel host Matt Mika added a small onboard generator to his Tesla Model S in order to avoid charging on a road trip. It is interesting engineering. It just also happens to be completely antithetical to EVs. Ugh. And on that note, we are done for the day. But before I go, make sure you've hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And if you haven't already, do consider switching to Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. It is super easy to make the switch, and in doing so, you'll help the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. I'll be back soon with more awesome content, as will the lovely Gavin Kiwi EV Shoebridge. And we'll be back here next weekend for another Roundup show. On behalf of the entire team here at Ecotricity, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Ka kite! See you next time.